In this video, I'm going to talk about how to replace critical door components in C10 Chevy pickups. In particular, this is my 1980 Chevy C10. To take the door panel off, first you start with removing the door panel. Now, the way I just did it is not the way to do it because you'll end up breaking it like that. You see there's a little pin there that needs to be slid off first. And if you slide off that little retainer clip, then you'll be able to remove that without breaking it. There are several screws along the bottom of the door, as you can see here, and all of those can be removed fairly easily. There's another one in the armrest that I'm just now figuring out there. There's two of them. It looks like that's most of them. If you try to pull this off now, it won't work because there's yet one more screw just behind the door handle, which any moment now I'll figure out. And yeah, don't pry too hard like that because you'll break it. Once that's out, boom, comes right off. You can see it's a mess underneath my door. You know, something on the order of 40 years of dust has accumulated in there. So it's good to take the opportunity to clean that out when you get a chance. I sprayed most of it off with air, compressed air here. I think I'm going to go back through it. Now, part of the reason why I was doing this repair is because, number one, the door locks were malfunctioning. It was really hard for me to get the doors unlocked. So I found these lock cylinders. They were pretty cheap. I think they were like 10 or 15 bucks a piece. And you can see the way that it clips on, it's sort of retained to the door with that clip on the inside. Getting the lock cylinder out requires you putting your hands inside the door. And these are the general tools that I use for that, including a flathead screwdriver. There's the clip. So you just saw the new one. Now this is how it looks installed with the old one. It's pretty rusty. So getting it out means that you need to pull that clip. And I was just trying to break it loose. You know, it's kind of seized on there with the rust and everything. Eventually I get smart enough and use the pliers to pull it out. There, you can see the plier works. So that's off. Now you can see how it comes through the door. There's a little arm on it that engages with a couple linkages. And that's really it. It's a very simple mechanism. So I pushed it back out through the door. Now you need to take that arm off and put it on the new lock cylinder so that you can reinstall the new lock cylinder. So there's a little retainer clip here. So you get that off first. Watch your fingers. You're working with tedious stuff like this, it's really easy to poke yourself. Old lock cylinder is trash, but we need to keep this arm. I took a moment to try to clean up the arm a little bit of sandpaper. Maybe steel wool would work better. I don't know. But there, I put it on the new lock cylinder with the same retaining clip. Once you're sure that that's secure on there, you should be good to go. So I'm testing it out with the new key. Seems to work. Yeah, look at that. So that's a beautiful thing because I could barely get it to turn most of the time while I was using the old one. So there's these gaskets that go between the door and the lock cylinder so that it doesn't create a leak point in the door and allow water to get in. So put the lock cylinder back through with the arm and try to line it up with all that linkage in there that I was talking about before. And I think I have some better footage here so you can see how that linkage lines up. So there it is, it's going in, and the little right angle hand of the arm goes through there and gets connected into the linkage. And here's the new retainer clip. You just push that in there. And all it does is it just puts a little bit of force between the lock cylinder and the door. I use the big pliers to basically shove that in there like this. Make sure it's retained. And there you go, like new lock cylinder. Here's what it looked like in the other door. See that slot there? That's where it needs to go in. That slot is on the sort of brackets and armatures that are all working inside the door. That slot connects to the different linkages. And once that's in, you should be able to see that arm through the slot. Put the retainer clip in and you're done. Again, use the pliers to push that retainer clip in. It's amazing that that even works, just given all the kind of crude linkages and everything, but it works really well. Now I can get in and out of my truck on both sides, and it improves just the enjoyment of riding the truck so much more. So next I started doing the window seals, and I'll show you why this was necessary. Look at how brittle this stuff is. It just fell apart in my hands. It was all sun-baked and dried out, and that was once upon a time rubber and felt. So I chipped all that stuff out, mostly with a flathead screwdriver. I actually left the window in place. I haven't done the window regulator yet. I have those parts, but here I'm just going to show you how to do the door seals, the window seals. So you start by getting the seal. You'll get like this long strip in a kit. I think I got mine from CJ Pony Parts or Brothers Trucks or something. And you start in that upper corner. And what you want to do is have the window fully rolled down at first. And as you slide the seal into the channels, you can roll the window up and down to get better access. But you gradually want to pull these seals down into the tracks like I'm doing here and make sure that the glass stays lined up. The worst thing you could do is pull the track down and then the glass slips out of the track, and now you're trying to put the glass back in the track after you pulled the seal in, and that's going to be super hard. You're just going to be struggling with it and you're going to break something. So you're basically trying to pull it around the window with the window still in there. And when I rolled it up, it was pretty tight, but that's good. It'll eventually break in. There's a channel sort of seal on the outside of the door that goes in super easy. You just line up these clips. You can see them from the inside. There's little slots in the door for those clips. So you just get them lined up there, and then when you push them in, they'll lock right into those little slots in the door. And that's it. That's how you do a window seal. It's pretty easy. I'll do door seals and door panels later, but hopefully this helped you out. There's my makeshift window crank. But it also reduces wind noise quite a bit when I'm driving, which is a really nice improvement. Feels like a new truck. There you can see it fully installed. Again, make sure it doesn't get outside of the track when you're rolling it up so that it properly breaks in. This is Davey Noble, Solve Fix Build. Thanks for watching.
Hey, you're awesome. You really hung in there, didn't you? If you want to see the next project, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notifications button.